Morning everybody. Been a little while since I've done a video, but thought I'd do one, and I've been obviously meaning to do this one for a while. And most of you probably have already planted your seeds for this season, but I'll just run through just the way I do it, and you pick whichever way is best for you and works for you. Now I've sort of held off on planting seeds, but sort of come to the crunch time where you must get them in, otherwise they won't survive through the winter. Now I've been waiting for a week of solid good sunny weather. I've also been waiting to have the nighttime temperatures at 20 degrees and the daytime temperatures 30 and above, but 7 full days of sun and great conditions, which at the moment here in lovely Queensland we haven't had very much of. But anyway, so that's ideal conditions if you're looking for a really good germination rate. But sometimes you've just got to bite the bullet and do if you've got a couple of sunny days and the temperatures are sort of okay. So we will flicker around and I'll just run through a bit of preparation work, and I'll do a separate video on actual planting as well. Okay, so this is what I have as a setup. Now, everyone can pick sort of their own seed raising mix, but I like the Searles seed raising mix. Now, in past years, there has been issues with the gnats in there and the bags are too wet, etc, etc, but I've gone through all this and I found nothing was moldy in there. Everything looks good. It's a nice loose sort of mix. It's well aerated, and I've also added perlite in there as well, which I like to add. So it's a good sort of mix. There's a bit of sand, a bit of everything in there. As I said, pick your own mix, but that's what I like. Now I've also got some coir, so I'm trying a few different methods this year. I'll do some with putting a loose top fill of coir on top, just sprinkle over the top of the seeds. Coir tends to hold the water more, like moisture more, which will help keep the seeds moist, because you must keep them moist while they're growing or coming up, that sort of thing. So I'm going to put a little bit of coir just on the top. Might give a go with some others with a bit of peat moss on the top there as well. It's all just to retain the moisture on top while the seeds are growing. And I'm also going to do some with just the seed raising mix on the top as well. So planting, it depends how many seeds you have to plant. If you just have a couple of seeds, you know, you can put them in little individual pots, up to you, or you could put them in, you know, some of the seed raising trays that they have. Some people just put them in, you know, containers with holes in them. Some people, it all depends what you want to do. But I've got a couple different ways that I do it, because I'm planting mass seeds. I'm not planting a couple of 100. I'm doing like 1,000, 2,000 seeds at a time. In years gone by, I've used different ones, but these are quite good and they're quite strong and easy to get out. Got lots of holes, good drainage, and they also go in another tray that has lots of holes as well. And you can actually fit 2 of those in one of your long trays, which you'll see why I need those when I get along here a little bit more. Another method that you can use, if you've got some little tubes, because you can leave, and they're easy to move, like singular, you can move those around quite easily, whereas these trays you're doing a whole lot. But again, they fit nicely in those other trays, which have the holes in the bottom, so you're not going to get waterlogged. You can fit 48 in there. There's also 48 in there, so they're a good way of doing it as well. And as you can tell, there's your Searles. I've got a few, and that's not even the half of it. So that's your preparation work. So what I'll be doing next is obviously putting all the seed raising mix into whatever medium that I'm using. And I've also fashioned together, and just excuse the fact that that is so wonky at the top, but these frames I have been able to get from like the piping companies, the plumbers and all that sort of stuff. This is how they get their pipes in, and I actually collect them for free. So this whole thing, all of the framework, except for the wheels, and even the wheels cost me nothing, is all recycled timber. And the reason that I get these is all of these trays, let's get rid of that. These long trays, it's not the short trays, it's the long trays. So, and you really don't have to do anything when you're doing these, because they all just fit perfectly together and they're the right size. So as you can tell, a tray will sit in there, and again, ignore the fact that it's crooked, which annoys me, but probably not too many other people. So You can fit 3 trays on the top, 3 in the middle and 3 down the bottom. And if you have approximately 100 seeds in the other trays, then you're looking at 900 seeds that are on top of each other rather than spread out taking up a pile of room, which is half of my issue as well. And the good thing about having the wheels on is obviously that if you have these and you want to put them in the sun, put them in the sun, you can rotate them. They've got stoppers on the wheels so you can put the wheels out. And of course when it rains and you don't want them in the sun, very, very easy to put them under cover. So in case anyone was interested or looking at a way to save space and have something portable for your seeds, this is what I sort of use. Okie dokie. So that's your prep work. Now, and also the reason that I can't plant today as well, once I've done all my prep work, which would take me hours, is that the seeds, imported seeds, or seeds that have been in your fridge over, say, the last season to now, are all dormant and they need to be rehydrated. And to do that, they've got to be soaked. So I soak them in some room temperature water and I put a pinch of manzanite in there as well, which is a fungicide, which just assists in case there happens to be something in the seed. It'll protect it a little bit when you plant it as well against, you know, with moisture and all that sort of stuff, you could get an infection. And the rehydration period is about 4 to 6 hours. Just putting back some moisture into your seeds, it makes it easier to plant them as well. It gives them a little bit of a start. So the process of planting the seeds will be done, not today, but once I've got all of the seeds out and rehydrated, then it'll just be a very easy process of popping them all into the little trays, into whatever container you have. You lay them out and you lay them flat. You don't put them pointy end up. You lay them flat because the seed could come from either end. Put a very fine layer of whatever medium you're using on top, and then from then on in, I put them in the sun. And they must be kept moist at all times in the sun. That way you're not mucking around, and it gives them the best chance of germinating. They should come up then within 3 to 5 days, maybe 7, depends on your weather. And from then on in, you're happy days once you've got them all up. So I shall post a couple of photos and updates as we go along. Happy gardening, everyone.